Right then guys, it's PSL here, and I'm here for part 9 in my series on Grand Prix Manager 2, Managing Jordan. Now we're still just starting the second season, the 1997 season, having done the Spanish/European Grand Prix last time out at Jerez because the FIA changed the first race of the season from Melbourne to Jerez. And anyway, the results of that first race, well, David Coulthard won it, Barrichello second, from Hakkinen, Villeneuve, Panis and Johnny Herbert. Herbert and Panis lucky to score their points in the end. And then a good day for McLaren overall, with Coulthard winning and Villeneuve in fourth. But anyway, the main topic of this episode is the drivers I'm going to sign. But just before I get into that, we've got the other personnel. So, you know, the chief designer, engineer, mechanic and commercial manager. Let me just click on the chief designer. Because as we all know, at the start of the series, the start of the 1996 season, I signed the best people in every department. So I got Adrian Newey as my chief designer, a 5-star chief designer, the joint best on the field. But everybody's rating in this game can change ever so slightly, not massively, but engineers, designers, commercial managers, even drivers, their ratings can change. So Adrian Newey is still a 5-star designer. Most people, well, everybody I signed was 5-star at the time I signed them. But if we go on our chief engineer, Pat Simmons, he unfortunately has deteriorated to being only a 4.5-star chief engineer. But the fact of the matter remains, he's still one of, if not the best chief engineer on the grid. So onto the drivers now. I had a lot of suggestions for drivers I should get. Also, someone did comment saying, do you have to use Take Inoue to get his money? Now, I'm pretty certain you don't. Because, I mean, Take Inoue, he's giving us $8 million a season. So that's $500,000 at the end of every Grand Prix weekend. Now, I'm pretty certain you don't have to use him to get his money. But regardless of that fact, I'm making huge profits. I think I made $700,000, $800,000 profit from the previous Grand Prix. So regardless of whether Take is actually giving us money, we're making massive profits. But I'm pretty certain he is paying us, even though he's doing nothing. So, you know, that's a waste of money for him. But no, drivers, lots of people were suggested in the comments. I mean, let's just have a quick think about this. Of course, actually, yeah, the experienced Paul Jean Alesi was mentioned, Mika Salo was mentioned. I don't think anyone else here was, really. No, I don't think so. And then on the rookies, of course, Ralf Schumacher's already been contracted. He was mentioned, Sarrazin was, Jarno Trulli was. You know, quite a few drivers were mentioned. But the problem with the inexperienced drivers, and also with the experience, because Jean Alesi is a driver which I would definitely sign. You know, just to keep the tradition up of signing out-of-contract drivers, much like I did in F1 Manager, because the only reason I got Mika Hakkinen in my F1 Manager series was because he was out of contract and very cheap. Unfortunately, despite the fact that Jean Alesi is apparently in Formula 3000 at the moment, he still is demanding the same sort of salary that he was getting last year. In fact, last year he was only getting paid $5 million. But here's the thing. To get someone who isn't in Formula 1 at the moment, whether that be Alesi, Salo, Montoya, Trulli, I would have to get rid of one of my drivers, like, immediately, terminate their contract. Which I don't really fancy doing. And you could say, why don't you do it with Inoue? But strangely, if I wanted to get rid of Inoue, I'd have to pay out the rest of his contract, which is going to be, what, $7.5 million. So actually, Inoue is the most expensive driver to get rid of. So yeah, I do want to get Jean Alesi, but to get him now would be a hassle and quite expensive. So, you know, at the end of the season it'll be cheaper, but, you know, I don't really want to do that, really. And of course, I still want a French driver, which is why Jean Alesi is a perfect match, because I can afford him, because Inoue more than would cancel out his salary, and he's brilliant. He came 5th in the Drivers' Championship last season. if you look at all these drivers, if you look towards the bottom, let's say on Michael Schumacher, it says he's got 31 races left of his 32 race contract. Basically, he signed for 2 seasons. So I can't get him for next season, and I need someone for next season. You know, in the same way that I can't get Katayama. I don't really want him though. But I can't get Villeneuve, I can't get Coulthard, and Coulthard is a driver who I always sign. In fact, actually, Villeneuve and Coulthard are the 2 drivers I always sign in this game. Either that or Brundle, but you know, Brundle's gone as well. He's signed up for 2 seasons. Yeah, Häkkinen's another brilliant shout, but again, he's signed up for 2 seasons. So, realistically, every decent driver, Frentzen, Brundle, pretty much every decent driver is taken next season, except good old Gerhard Berger. So I'm going to sign Gerhard Berger for next season. He came close to winning the Drivers' Championship. He finished 3rd in the end. He got 57 points. He did beat Jean Alesi quite comprehensively. He beat Jean Alesi by 18 points. And this is a guy who kept setting race lap records everywhere he went. Brilliant driver, fantastic stats. So I'm going to get Gerhard Berger. That is a lot of money. 6,750,000 to get Gerhard Berger. That's a lot, but we've got some top sponsors on board. We'll probably get some even better ones by the time we have to start funding his salary. Take Inoue alone is actually going to be paying for Gerhard Berger's seat, and then some. So, simply because every other top driver, I think apart from Damon Hill, is taken, and I think Damon Hill is even more expensive, I'm going to have to get Gerhard Berger. So, yeah, we'll sign Gerhard Berger for next season. So that's good. And then unfortunately, just through sheer obligation to have a French driver just to keep Renault engines, as much as I like Barrichello, and he seems to be better than Panis, unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep Panis. I mean, not to say Panis is bad, he might well improve, but I didn't get much confidence from him in pre-season testing, and then even less so during the race. Right then, so my drivers next season are going to be Gerhard Berger, Olivier Panis, and almost certainly Take Inoue. Right, well I just wasted $240,000 trying to break into Williams, Ferrari, Benetton and McLaren's factory. So that's a waste of money. Absolutely, I mean, they've got worse security firms this year. I thought I might be able to get into their factory, see if I can steal anything, but no. In fact, actually, Ligier were looking strong last Grand Prix. I'm going to see if I can get anything from them. Yes, I can, thank you. Driver aids. Oh, look at that. Ligier, that's why Ligier are good. Look at that. I mean, semi-automatic gears, level 3, but they knew, they anticipated the advanced steering becoming legalised, because they definitely developed that in advance. They had to have done. I mean, that's good, right? I'm going to buy their advanced steering system because I've only got a level 1 system. They've got a level 9. $14,000. That's it. $14,000. That is it to get a much better advanced steering system. Honestly, Ligier, you're getting ripped off. But, do you know what? Thank you. So that is, wow, that's good. Good old Ligier. Right then, so here we are into qualifying, and amazingly, no qualifying lap records have been broken. Now, coming up towards the last corner, we got Rubens Barrichello. He set the qualifying lap record last season. Can he beat it this season with the advanced steering system, much better semi-automatic gears, and a much more powerful engine? Yes, he has. He has beaten his own qualifying lap record by 2.7 seconds. Can Olivier Panis do that? Can he beat Rubens Barrichello in his backyard? And yes, he has. He's beaten him by over 1/10 of a second. Do you know what? I was getting worried about Panis. I was getting worried that I was going to have to stick with the worst of the 2 current drivers, but no. Not only are they similarly matched, it looks like Panis can also be quicker. Interestingly, at the moment, Pacific aren't doing too badly. When I say they're not doing too badly, they're only half a second off of 40. And weirdly, Bertrand Gachot, and we saw Bertrand Gachot, his driving stats are quite a bit better than Mark Goosen's. Well, you know, Bertrand Gachot's 1.5 seconds, 1.6 seconds actually, off of his teammate. So there we are, the end of the session, and Olivier Panis blitzing the rest of the field apart from his teammate means that everyone outside of the top 8 didn't make it within the 107% rule. That includes both McLarens, including Jacques Villeneuve, that includes both Ligier, so we took the advanced steering system off. 40, Pacific, Minardi, Arrows, Sauber, even Sauber. I mean, the only teams that made it were ourselves, obviously, Benetton, Williams and Ferrari. Kind of not surprising, really, actually. Right then, so here we are on the race strategy screen, and you know what I'm going to say, it's a two-stop strategy, like it is in pretty much every video I've made this year so far. So that's all good. Panis coming in a lap later, because of course he did take pole position, so he may as well go longer into the race, because that, in theory, is better. There's the helicopter once again, haven't heard that in a little while. Yep, I think that's everything. Tyres, 2-stop, fuel. I've just remembered a little quirk, of course, because it puts in 2 laps too much fuel, which I forgot about last race. I've just remembered it. So lap 24 for Barrichello, 25 for Panis, and let's head on into the formation lap. And no one has stalled. No, okay. The 1997 Brazilian Grand Prix is underway, and it's both Jordans heading down towards the first corner, and Olivier Panis has been passed by Rubens Barrichello. And there you go, just for a second I thought that Panis might prove himself to be at least on par with his teammate, but no, as we can see, there's Barrichello, there is Panis, although the great thing is they're pulling away from both Benettons, and I'm pretty certain Hakkinen qualified in third, so not only did Barrichello pass Panis, but also Berger passed Hakkinen. So it seems like starting on the right-hand side is actually the best place to be. And also, at the moment, our guys, having done a lap of this 71-lap race, are noticeably pulling away from the rest of the field. But I guarantee you, the second we go into this TV screen, they'll probably magically close up. Well, Damon Hill's coming to the pits already. So's Hakkinen and Kenny Brack. We got a lot of people pitting very early. Fizzy Keller is the first retiree of this Grand Prix. Jos Verstappen, Michael Schumacher. Yep, oh, it looks like Barrichello and Berger are pit. No, Barrichello, I thought he was coming into the pit. Barrichello has actually retired this Grand Prix. Nothing new there. Thankfully, Olivier Panis has inherited the Grand Prix lead, at least for the time being. New tyres, fuel him up. Hopefully Panis can not only stay in for the remainder of the Grand Prix, but also retain the lead he's only just acquired. And no, he hasn't, because he's dropped down into second place. I don't know how Mika Hakkinen ended up in first, but he's ended up in first by... Well, I mean, there's Hakkinen. He's on lap 28, and then there's Olivier Panis still on lap 27. Don't know how that's happened. I'm convinced Hakkinen pitted. Yeah, the only way he'd have that sort of a gap is if he didn't pit. But he must have done. Honestly, do you know what? Who knows what's happened this Grand Prix? Well, no, hang on. Hakkinen's coming into the pits, and I imagine he'll come out still in the lead of the race. Yeah, Panis only 8 seconds behind, but I think that has proven his... hang on. Let's keep an eye on this. Because Panis is catching up according to that. Oh, Olivier Panis is potentially... Oh, no, he was close to getting past Hakkinen there. I was going to say that it seems evident that we still don't have real race pace. All we can do is qualify well and then hold up the rest of the field. But to be fair, Panis, I'm sure he's on a much lighter fuel load than Hakkinen at the moment, but he's caught up rapidly to the back of Hakkinen. Let's watch, hang on, going down the start-finish straight. There's also someone behind Panis. That might be the other Benetton. It's someone to certainly watch out for. And no, they're still going to remain line astern. Right, Hakkinen's coming into the pits, and now we have finally retaken the lead of the Grand Prix. It's a shame that Panis is about to come into the pits, so we'll probably lose the lead of the Grand Prix, and also potentially second, because Gerhard Berger came in about 2-3 laps before Panis did. So we only need 22 laps worth of fuel. Yeah, we only need 22 more laps worth of fuel. So a 10.9 second pit stop. That will probably see Panis in second. But I think crucially, let me just double check. I mean, he's miles behind Hakkinen, but also noticeably ahead of Gerhard Berger. Do you know what? Fair enough. I will happily take second. I mean, Panis, you know, considering we could so easily have got a 1-2 and then our race pace was lacking and then Barrichello retired, to take second place with our arguably weaker driver, I'll happily take that. One thing to keep in mind is that Panis is closing the gap. He's now only 4 seconds behind, but unfortunately I think it's too little too late. He closed the gap down from 20 seconds to 4.2, but Hakkinen is still going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Olivier Panis in second and Gerhard Berger in third. Do you know what? Fair play, we did alright at the end there. One thing I'm interested to know is who set the fastest race lap. Panis is going quickly at the end. Katayama's in fourth. He beat the man he replaced, that is Michael Schumacher. He beat his teammate Eddie Irvine. Do you know, this has been a less than stellar season for Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher in the Williams, fair enough, he beat Damon Hill, but 6th that Grand Prix. And yep, Olivier Panis was in fact only a few seconds behind Hakkinen, and actually, Panis was much closer to Hakkinen than he was to Berger. So, we were genuinely quicker than Gerhard Berger that Grand Prix. So, there you go. Why did Barrichello retire? Out of fuel, I find that hard to believe. I don't think I did, maybe. Well, who knows? Who knows? I'll know when I'm editing, and I'm sure someone will probably leave a comment if I did somehow underfuel Barrichello. So that's good. Car chassis, 8%. Progress there. Okay. Jordan lose the cooling system technology. We don't know who stole it. Well, I say stole it, copied it. It's not like we've lost the system, I don't think. I think it's just someone else has now copied it, so... First career win for Mika Hakkinen. Hey, that's an achievement. Hey, well done to Hakkinen then. Just to point out one thing from that Grand Prix, because I forgot to check it myself, Mika Hakkinen did set the race lap record at the previous Grand Prix of 1:17.2, so he beat Michael Schumacher's race lap record by 3 seconds, I think 3.8 seconds, I think, from memory. So, yep, I think it's definitely the case that the 1997 cars are much quicker than the 1996 ones. Right, we've had a string of qualifying lap records coming in. Katayama, Irvine, Villeneuve and now Berger have all beaten now Hakkinen. They're all beating the qualifying lap record at the moment. But, I mean, heading into this weekend, it was Barrichello's qualifying lap record. They've already beaten it by about 2 seconds. The race lap record is also a 1:30. But we need to send our guys out there right about now. Right, well, it seems to me like our drivers are going to be the 2 last guys on the grid to set a qualifying lap time. Thankfully, Mark Goossens has just entered the pits, which means Barrichello is going to be setting a qualifying lap in clean air. Olivier Panis is already coming right now to, he's very close to the start-finish line. And we've seen Ferrari, Benetton, they've been beating the qualifying lap record. But can Olivier Panis do that for the second race in a row? Yes, he can. He's beaten the qualifying lap record by well over 2 seconds. 2.3 seconds. That is something, but this was Rubens Barrichello's qualifying lap record. It's been beaten by 5 people this Grand Prix. No, 6 actually. Can Barrichello be the 7th? No, he can't. Once again, he's been beaten by his teammate in qualifying. Here's what's interesting though, is we saw Tyrrell last season put in some brilliant qualifying performances. It now seems to be Arrows who are the team to be doing that. And we all know what happened to Tyrrell, don't we? So I'm expecting Arrows to go very soon. But no, in all honesty, Kenny Brack in 5th, Jos Verstappen in 6th. That is brilliant from those guys. In that Arrows, that's going to be one of the slowest cars on the grid. To qualify 5th and 6th, just ahead of Jacques Villeneuve in the McLaren, that is stunning. Credit to Mark Goossens, not only for being much quicker than Bertrand Gachot, 4 seconds a lap quicker. Mark Goossens in that dog of a car, that Pacific, he beat both 40s. That's a massive achievement. So much like with every Grand Prix this series, except for the German Grand Prix around Hockenheim and rain-affected ones, it's a 2-stop strategy. Once again, the pole sitter, or at least the quickest of our 2 drivers, Olivier Panis, he's coming a lap later, so that's all well and good. Nothing else to say really. We'll just have to see if Kelvin Burt stalls his car. Okay, that's not really particularly interesting or is going to have any implications on point scorers, really, this Grand Prix. But one thing I'm interested to find out is whether Olivier Panis can actually convert pole position, well, not only into a race win actually, but also into just a lead coming out of the first corner. The 1997 Argentinian Grand Prix is underway, and it looks like Barrichello potentially might have got the jump on Olivier Panis. No, he hasn't, but I was thinking into a right-hander. Barrichello being on the right-hand side might well have had it, but no, Olivier Panis this time around has been able to retain the lead of the Grand Prix. What about further behind? Hakkinen has also been able to stay ahead of Berger. And then we still got Kenny Brack in 5th and Jos Verstappen still in 6th. Arrows, they never fail to amaze me. Norberto Fontana. You know, his career was going well when he was at Sauber. Then he got a race drive with Minardi, so a disappointment really. And now he got a 10-second penalty this Grand Prix. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain he got a 10-second penalty lost Grand Prix as well. Kelvin Burt is out of the Grand Prix, so is Uko Katayama. And Gerhard Berger once again setting race lap records. Well, we got David Coulthard and Eddie Irvine. They've already come to the pits. Now Pedro Diniz is... Coulthard's down in 14th after his pit stop. Irvine still in 5th. The field, at least between the top 4, I was going to say is quite tight, but now Panis is 6 seconds ahead of his teammate. Oh, Hakkinen, he's broken cover. He has pitted already. I'm assuming Berger is going to come in very soon then, if that's the case. Well, I don't know. It looks like actually Berger's going further into the race than Barrichello is. So we need 24 laps worth of fuel. 24 laps worth of fuel. New tyres. 11.2 second pit stop. What about Olivier Panis? Barrichello, I think he's dropped behind Mika Hakkinen. No, actually, I think he's ahead of Mika Hakkinen. Right, we'll have to double check that in just a second. More new tyres, more fuel for Olivier Panis. Who is our chief mechanic? It's Carl Garden, isn't it? Or Carl Gaden, however you pronounce his name. The former Williams mechanic. He's made a mistake. The stop took longer than planned because of a jammed wheel nut. Maybe it's his fault, maybe it's not, but I'll tell you one thing. The third race he's been with the team, we've had a mistake. Last season we had none of these. So, Panis, he's lost about 6 seconds in the pits there. But actually, hang on. Where's Gerhard Berger? I think... Is he coming into the pits, or has he already done his pit stop? No, I think he's already done it. So Gerhard Berger has, out of all of that, moved from 4th to 1st. Panis is in 2nd, and Häkkönen's in 4th, but right on the back of Barrichello. Panis, to be fair, seems to be genuinely quicker than Barrichello, but at the moment... The problem is that with this point system, with it being 10-6, 4-3-2-1, the real points are in finishing 1st. And you know, finishing 2nd and 3rd is great and all, but you're not going to win a Constructors' Championship when Benetton win pretty much every Grand Prix. Worryingly, Panis is down 19 seconds behind Gerhard Berger, 20 seconds. Yeah, Berger's about a second a lap quicker than us, so I mean, Gerhard Berger, he's been setting race lap records all Grand Prix, although having said that, we did just catch up a lot of time there. Damon Hill, I think he was nearly in a points position, which shouldn't even be an achievement for Damon Hill in the Williams. That should just be academic, but, well, it isn't because he has retired. And then we've still got Mark Goosen, still ahead of Fontana. I know Fontana had a 10-second stop-go penalty, but to be fair, that Pacific is dreadful. Mark Goosen's is by no means highly rated, although, I don't know, my opinion of him is going up rapidly, because he's better than Bertrand Gachot, and Gachot, theoretically, should be quite a lot better. Berger's also actually coming quite early, so he's had quite a short second stint in comparison to our guys. Okay, so Barrichello, we need 25, you know, I'm going to put in 26 laps of fuel, just so he doesn't run out of fuel, unlike the previous Grand Prix. New tyres, 13 seconds in the pits. Now it's Olivier Panis who will be coming in. And it looks like, actually, that seemed to me that Berger came in the pits and still came out ahead of Panis before Panis had even done his pit stop, which is worrying to say the least, because I think Berger has run away with this Grand Prix. I mean, Berger, he won a smattering of Grand Prix last season, but every Grand Prix he won last season, he won it in dominant fashion. So, and I think that that trend isn't going to change here. But as I said, with the point system in 1997, I mean, Benetton, they've got 10 points. Even if Häkkinen retires, Jordan collectively as a team have scored the same amount of points as Benetton, and that's ignoring Häkkinen. So, the problem is that if Benetton win every Grand Prix, it is impossible for us to beat them in the Constructors' Championship. Utterly unbeatable. Even if we come 2nd and 3rd in every other Grand Prix, it's impossible. Oh, Mark Goossens is out of the Grand Prix, so's Kenny Brack. I didn't really make mention of Kenny Brack because it wasn't... Well, who cares really, but Mark Goossens, that is a retirement for Pacific, so one of the few times they're actually going to be taking part in the Grand Prix, and they've stuffed it, and so has Pedro Diniz in the Ligier. So close to points, and, well, no, because he's retired with so little of the Grand Prix left. Panis was over 50 seconds behind Berger. He's now only, well, 47 seconds behind now, so he's catching up slowly, but, I mean, we're on the last lap of the Grand Prix, and unfortunately, Benetton are going to win the 2nd Grand Prix in a row. Berger's going to win the Grand Prix by over 50 seconds ahead of Panis, and then Barrichello wasn't too far behind his teammate. And the guy with the clipboard is actually checking out our car there. I don't know why. We've got nothing suspicious on our car. Our car is purely Jordan with a bit of Ligier. I mean, that is basically our car. Actually, with a bit of Sauber as well from last season when we took a bit of their technology, which I'm pretty sure we're still using. See, I mean, our car is perfectly legal. It's Jordan, bit of Ligier, bit of Sauber. But, Damon Hill with an accident, actually. Wow. That is rare, actually, that you can say Damon Hill made a genuine mistake. And then Mark Goossens, just as my opinion of Mark Goossens was starting to elevate, well, it's gone down because he spun off. Active suspension because I did max out the advanced steering system, so I thought I may as well develop a driving aid just in anticipation that it becomes legalised for the next season. And out of all of the 7 I could have chosen, I chose the active suspension system just because, I don't know, I just thought I would. So, something tells me that's going to be a headline we're going to be seeing a lot of. We've seen it twice already. Nearly a first win for Panis. There you go. Oh, actually, yes, the next race is the German or European Grand Prix around the Nürburgring, which Heinz-Harald Frentzen won last time out. It's such a strange Grand Prix, because every other Grand Prix last season was basically won by Schumacher, Benetton, or ourselves, really, pretty much, by and large. But that was the weird one where Sauber, not only were they up there, but they were really up there. I mean, they scored quite a few points last season, but, well, most of them actually came from that Grand Prix, which they won. And yep, just to prove we're making money, we're up to $4.3 million, so we're definitely making a profit, and I think, well, I mean, we're easily going to have enough cash in reserve to pay Gerhard Berger's salary in advance. Well, I mean, you know, we could pay it as one lump sum at the start of the season if we wanted to, although I don't know why we would. But that's all good, we're making money, and I don't really think there is anything else that needs to be said. So, oh no, hang on, Drivers' Championship, how's it looking? Well, Hakkinen leading the championship at the start of this episode. It was David Coulthard who was leading it, but, well, since the first race, Coulthard has only scored 1 point. Panis is joint second in the championship with Berger, and then Barrichello is 5th with 10 points. So, essentially at the moment the championship battle is between, well, the Benetton drivers, Jordans and Coulthard. Well, I don't really imagine Coulthard. Well, McLaren made a very good first impression, but unfortunately, well, Coulthard's only scored 1 point since, and Villeneuve has done nothing since, actually. I don't even think I mentioned his name this episode. And then what about the Constructors' Championship? Unsurprisingly, Benetton 7 points ahead. Honestly, unless we can win a Grand Prix, we're not going to beat them. Simple as. It will be a second season in a row where we finish second to Benetton, unfortunately. Williams are on the same points total as Sauber. And Williams, they're using the same engine as Sauber, am I right? It's either Sauber or Ligier. No, Williams, they're using the same engine as Sauber. By all accounts, should be quicker, but yet they're on the same points total, which is 1. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and next time I'll see you for the German Grand Prix around the Nürburgring, or technically European Grand Prix, as well as probably another 2 Grand Prix. I'm hoping to make it a 3 Grand Prix episode next time out. So I'll see you then.